How's everybody doing? I'm excited, man, because I haven't been live on Gen X in forever, and I'm live with my two best buds, and I'm fucking feeling good, man. How you guys doing?
I'm a little wore out because I just spent almost 2.5 hours at a ROTC award show at my son's high school. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Starting the week off.
Really? My son just had his award ceremony, as well. So I'm over here racing back home so I can just go ahead and get live and set up and everything. So
yeah,
it's that time of year, man. You know what? My son's a senior, so this will be my last hoorah until my son Max, my youngest one, goes to kindergarten. But I'm enjoying these last events with the original Generation 1 kids. And of course, we have the man of the hour, Mr. Charles, down below. How you doing, Charles?
Hello from the future.
From the future. How many hours in the future?
It's 2:34 a.m. Wednesday, May 8th.
Damn! Dude, I'm sorry.
I'm here. I got to get used to New York time anyway, so
he would have been awake. He's fine.
I always feel bad because last time on one of the lives we had, you had your wisdom tooth pulled out. And I'm like, why didn't you fucking tell me? I would have done something. Or like,
that was this guy, right? Not me.
No, it wasn't me.
I always have something. So
yeah, you had something going on with your teeth or your mouth or your face or something.
Yeah. Just throw a dart at something. Oh, that's what's wrong.
Yeah, what's
going on this month for Charles, right? Yeah, but it's always good, man, just to come back and not talk about the rude advice stuff. It's just talk about movie stuff with you guys. And again, I have a lot of topics I want to talk about with you guys, but mainly other than just hanging out with you guys and just chilling out and having a wonderful night with everybody watching live. Thank you for watching live, everybody. Super chats are appreciated. We'll get to your questions later on, but the reason I wanted to talk to you guys is because of course you have the 31 on 31, which this is my second appearance on it. Thank you to you both for allowing me into your circle. Everybody, the initiation process was pretty hard. I had to stand outside Cody's house for 3 days with no food or water. And then they shaved my head, and then eventually they let me join the group. So
you got off easy. I made Brian do it naked.
But it's about comedy. And again, I think this is your first attempt or going with comedy. Yeah. And the conversations, everybody, I don't want to get specific about them, but what you would think is a comedy classic to you is boring and stupid to others.
Dude.
Well, it's what's crazy and what I've noticed about comedy, maybe more so than any other genre, even though we could pick out genres and how things have evolved or even devolved in horror, even action, but comedy has very distinct eras with what style of humor works.
Right.
And as soon as it stops being funny, you don't see those comedies anymore. And so there's so many where it's if you weren't there when that was considered funny, it's hard to appreciate it. And we have it captured pretty well in our little list here. We got the older stuff like the Mel Brooks era. You don't really see too many movies like that anymore. Then we get into the 80s with the John Hughes and things where we don't really see movies like that anymore. Then you got a very distinct Todd Phillips, Will Ferrell led era there where comedy like Anchorman, even Zoolander to a degree is kind of like Anchorman comedy, and people don't really do that anymore. And so it's now comedy just ceases to exist. Now it's I don't know what era we're in. We're in the where the fuck is that era? But I've noticed that when we've been going through these movies, how when I grew up, in the 90s, that was the Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey era. They were the top dog.
Yes, right.
And then they kind of started to taper off, and then it was the Will Ferrell. There's this weird little eras that so many of these movies, you have so much nostalgia tied to them that it's hard to not get offended. But some of the movies are I'm watching this for the first time, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could be there with you. And then you're like, fucking sucked. I didn't laugh once. I'm like, never mind. I would not want to be in that room.
For example, National Lampoon's Vacation is on the list. And one of us in the chat saw it last night, and they go, "This is okay. I only laughed twice." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah,
that's one of the all-time classics, man. I grew up with it, but I love that movie. And how can you just chuckle twice, man? What the hell?
I'm in the chat this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Exactly. And the other one, I guess we can talk about it now, is this movie, The Cable Guy. For everybody who's watching, I'm the oldest bastard here, and I grew up in the 90s, and this is the one Jim Carrey film that I didn't see in the theater and haven't seen at all to this day. So I saw it for the first time a couple days ago, And again, to your points, everyone thinks it's a funny movie. There's some funny, awkward situations. I found it incredibly disturbing.
Mhm.
It wasn't, in my mind, a comedy. Yes, there's some funny parts, but it just felt deeper than a Jim Carrey 90s comedy. Because again, I walked in thinking it was a Jim Carrey like Liar Liar, Ace Ventura.
So did everybody in the 90s.
It didn't do
got
well.
rated,
Yeah.
so yeah, it bombed.
Yeah, it totally flopped.
Is that me?
I think that's say something, Cody.
Hello?
That's
yeah,
you.
You're a little fuzzy.
You little fuzzy.
Here we go again.
It's
Okay.
like my 33 on 31 video.
Continue on. I gotta fuck
No
around
problem.
then.
I'll pick the mind of the comedian here. So yeah, it did flop, dude. It flopped big time in the 90s. I remember people talking about it, but he came back with Liar Liar and made the box office run again and so forth. But I saw the Cable Guy and I chuckled a few parts. There's some funny parts in there, like when you find out he got Steven a prostitute. It was, yeah, pal, my treat. It's like, what the hell? Just a guy overstepping his bounds, but it didn't feel like a comedy to me. It felt like a dark comedy. And the more I thought about it, I think it's more of a satire. And this really has consumed my mind the entire 48 hours since I've seen it. But what did you think about it, CP, when you first saw it?
I dug it.
You think it's funny and all?
Yeah, it's a dark comedy. Very, very black satirical humor, but
very.
Yeah, I mean, you brought it up. It came out in the 90s. You have to think of movies like Fatal Attraction, Basic Instinct. It's the same premise except like bro comedy, and it's a stalker, and the tone matches. I don't know why. I mean, maybe people weren't ready for Jim Carrey to be a stalker.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was marketed as like, hey, bring the family. You'll see some potty humor, things like that. And again, I walked in 2 nights ago thinking that was going to be it. But again, it just got incredibly dark, especially at the end. I wasn't sure if I should be laughing because he kidnaps that one guy, Steven's fiance or girlfriend, and he's got her tied up. And I'm like, is he going to kill her? I mean, what the hell is he going to do? And throughout the movie, there's like this
Isn't that Leslie Mann?
Yeah, it was a young Leslie Mann. And throughout the movie, they're showing these clips from like a Menendez trial, but it's like a guy it's Ben Stiller who kills his twin. And I'm like, why do they keep showing this? Did he? And for a while, I was thinking, did Jim Carrey have something to do with the murder? And I'm like, okay, it's all going to come together. But at the end of the movie, it had nothing to do with anything. And I'm like,
just
what
to
is
represent people's attachment to media? Do
exactly.
I sound better?
You sound a whole lot better. There's no like spice at the end of there.
All right. Warn me if it happens again. I had this happen a couple of weeks ago, and we had a power outage last night, and so shit gets funky.
Okay. Yeah, no problem, man. And it got me thinking about Ben Stiller movies, and I thought about it. And again, I haven't put this much thought into a Ben Stiller movie, but all of his movies are about obsession. And you have the Cable Guy where people were obsessed with media and the trial. I mean, that whole Menendez sequence that he was doing was us obsessed with the OJ trial. And then you have people obsessed with fashion with Zoolander. And then you have people obsessed with Hollywood and celebrity with Tropic Thunder. And I never put that theme together with all his movies. I'm like, oh, okay. So there's like a social narrative under all this comedy. So when I looked at it that way, I'm like, oh, I can appreciate the Cable Guy more, but as an outright comedy, I don't think it's as funny. I don't think it's his best work. He's done some classics after the fact, but I just don't see it as a hoorah like the other films, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I wouldn't vote it as his #1 funniest movie, but it is one of, if not my favorite of his, just because it's so different and it is so underappreciated.
It is.
It's and I think just Ben Stiller in general is extremely underappreciated. Like he did Zoolander. I'm not crazy about, but I do like it. But Tropic Thunder is fucking brilliant, and that's the type of movie that I want to come back. But I think he's heavily underrated as a comedic director, and his satirical edge that he brings in all of his movies. At least that I've seen. I haven't seen Reality Bites. I don't know if that's very different or not, but
no, totally different. Completely. I don't even think he directed that. I think Ethan Hawke directed that movie.
Maybe he didn't. Okay. Okay. Never mind. But anyway, all the movies that he has done so far have that satirical edge to them, and they're very smart. Yeah. And if you don't quite get what he's going for, it doesn't quite land for you. Like a lot of people are watching Tropic Thunder for the first time now, and the whole commentary in that movie about how far and how like how out of their minds actors are to get awards, like the levels that they will go to. Like that's what it's commenting on with almost every one of the characters in some way. And it just gets lost on people, and they're just like, wait, really? We're doing blackface? And it's like, that's the point. The point is how outlandish and ridiculous it is. And so I really miss his comedies. Like he's doing really interesting things now. I still haven't finished Severance, but he's producing and doing some really interesting things, but I really, really miss him as a comedic director.
Yeah.
And there was an article going around about a week ago where he basically said that Zoolander 2 kind of broke him. That he, you know, the response to it.
I haven't seen it.
I could only get through 15 minutes of it. I'm not the biggest fan of the original, so take that with a grain of salt, but it was pretty bad. But he was basically saying how the response to that really fucked him up, where he like kind of doubted himself as a director after that. And it's like, stop, don't doubt yourself, come back.
Yeah.
Everybody has a bad day at the office. It's okay. I want more Tropic Thunder.
I hope he makes another film, because again, thinking about all three films, again, we're obsessed with television and cable television, and then we're obsessed with fashion, then we're obsessed with Hollywood and celebrity. Right now it's social media. So if he can make a smart comedy with the obsession with influencers and social media, I think that would be a great comedy to bring his style to today's audiences. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
CP, did you, what Ben Stiller film did you like the most, or which one do you prefer?
Tropic Thunder's up there, and Cable Guy's a close second. I am with Cody on this. That Zoolander just, it's going to be low for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I enjoy it if I'm in the mood for it. I think that it's got funny spots. I just don't think it's anywhere on the level of the other two, as far as just how edgy and how sharp they are. It's that era there, which I have a very fine line between enjoying it and really not enjoying it. It's that era of really stupid comedy. Like Will Ferrell style is like extreme hit or miss for me. Either I fucking love it or it just does not work. And this Zoolander is kind of in that style. You know, there's lines that I think are funny. There's I think the whole gag about how all of his looks are the same, and then he has the magnum at the end. He's like, they're all like, it's
blue steel.
It's the same shit. Yeah, like there's moments like that where it's fucking funny. It's Ben Stiller, but it's him at his dumbest.
My friend
by
used
design.
To, like whenever like I'd have like women of my house back when I was single, my friend would quote that movie, just let the tea do its work, just relax, man. So I go, what's that from? And then I finally saw Zoolander. I'm like, oh, so I enjoy it for it's like you said, it's a very like straight out like dumb comedy. I mean, you know, like a merman dad, you know, like him working in the coal mines with his dad, with John Voight. And
the black lung. You've been down here for an hour, bitch. Shut up.
So it's got its moments, but real quick, let me get to the super chat. Power Up Productions. Thank you. $10. Thank you so much. Listening to you three, Uncle Sean, and even Crazy Bearded Brian. Oh, check that out. It's got a nickname. Really helped me get through the day at work. You're very welcome. And how's Crazy Bearded Brian doing?
I never know.
We shared a popcorn.
Oh, okay. Yeah. CP has been in the flesh with him here recently.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever met him before, or was this the first time you meeting him?
No, I've never met him before, and he took a bunch of my movies.
I mean, he borrowed those movies as well.
No, we were cleaning stuff out, and he helped.
Ice cream truck, here you go. Yeah, Brian's actually the only member of Autop Stream that I have yet to meet in person.
Because he lives primarily overseas, right? I mean, he's always lived overseas, right?
Geographically kind of fucked, but yeah.
All right. And channel member Sean, thank you again. He supports all my channels. Thank you so much. Zoolander is really stupid, but really fun. That, like you said, it's either hit or miss. I know, like we were talking in the chat, and Cody, you weren't a fan of Anchorman. Because again, it was like
Anchorman has never worked for me ever. Never. I really got into Will Ferrell when Old School came out. I liked some of his stuff on SNL, but Will Ferrell, I knew him more for the movies that I didn't care for. Like he was the boyfriend in like Superstar and things like that. So I was never really on the Will Ferrell hype train. And then I saw Old School, and to me, he steals that whole movie. And I was just like, dude, what the fuck have I been sleeping on? What else does this guy have out? And he just released Anchorman at that point whenever I saw Old School. So I remember that day, and my dad thought the same thing. We were laughing our ass off at Old School. He's like, yeah, that guy's fucking funny. And I was like, let's go get Anchorman. And he's like, yeah, let's go. And we put it in, and both of us were just like, the fuck is it? Like, as soon as like 10 minutes in, where he's like, what? You did what? You ate the entire cheese wheel and you pooped in the refrigerator. I'm not even mad. That's amazing. Like, it's just it's not my wavelength of humor. There's a couple of moments that I thought were funnier watching it a couple of weeks ago versus when I was 20 or 21, whenever the fuck I watched it the last time. But yeah, I don't know.
Is that for you?
No, I don't get it. That's one that I genuinely don't get. And people, it's often on greatest comedies of all time lists. So it works for somebody. I just don't understand it.
Well, 60%, like what 60% of the time it works every time.
Brian gave Old School 1.5 stars. What did he do? Put his ratings for all 31 of them public before we even get the video out? 1.5 stars for Old School. You grouchy bitch. I love you, Brian. But comedy is the conversation we will never have with Brian and have any agreement.
Yeah, and just I wouldn't say I mean we're all like friends and we're not gonna like go at each other's throats, but I've seen the tone. Well, let's do it. I mean, we can take it, right? I mean, I'm not gonna take offense to anything, but I've seen the tone. Like, how can you not think that's funny? Like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? Like, like when it comes to the comedy piece. Brian's
he knows, and he acknowledges it fully. His taste in comedy is very different. Like me and him did a bunch of top 50 videos about 3 years ago or so, and my top 50 comedies, you're looking at Tommy Boy, Happy Gilmore, Liar Liar, a bunch of John Hughes shit. And you look at Brian's and it's like, Brian, these are dramas. It's so I mean, you look at our list that we're doing, we have 31 movies and there's one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
And that was the one where Brian was like, give me mine or I'm not fucking doing it. We're like, fine.
And just like the outlier, like I was with the last Halloween one, right? I messed up everybody's averages. I'm pretty sure this 31 may be historic because everybody's preferences are just going to be scattered.
It's going to be chaos. I feel bad for John Connor when he goes to do the averages. There's going to be like a couple that are obvious top threes and then chaos from there.
Yeah. Wait till Rudy sees what Brian. Oh, I mean, I hold that at a high regard. I've spoken about that in many lives before, and especially with you guys. So
Brian was outspoken, not wanting to even include Blazing Saddles, so I kind of figured that was not going to be high on his list.
Dude, when he said what he said about Breakfast Club, it was just like, dude,
oh yeah.
What do you say about Breakfast Club?
We're not covering it, but
yeah,
that's not a comedy. And then his definition of comedy is real life drama, and it's like, well, that's not comedy. What's your idea of comedy?
Joey's movie blog. Dude, I don't know how to. Brian is probably plotting his revenge after these past two 31 on 31s. This was supposed to be an easy one. As like I'm sorry, guys, for the last one.
On paper, yes, it is easy.
It was supposed to be easy breezy, 90-minute movies, easily digestible. You don't have to like sit and like heavily get into your emotions. It's just breezy. And Brian kicking and screaming through it.
That's hilarious, man. And another movie I saw last night for the first time, and again, I know a lot of people are going to be shocked, but I had never seen Weird Science before. I've seen all this. I've seen maybe the entire movie like in pieces, but I've never sat down from title screen to end credits and seen the movie. And I think I just watched it too old because I'm an old bastard. This movie is definitely marketed for like preteen, 15-year-old guys entering puberty and just kind of figuring out, about the ladies and things like that. That's what this film's marketed to. And a lot of the things just clearly don't make any sense, but I felt more uncomfortable watching that movie during certain scenes than enjoying myself and laughing and having a good time. What does that say? To
Cody, all the best. Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah. So for those
I was standing at his table awkwardly trying to find Weird Science because that's my favorite movie of his. And he had, tons of all the other shit, tons of Breakfast Club, tons of 16 Candles. There was a bunch of Tommy Doyle shit. And I was just like, fuck. And I said, oh, that one with the bras on the heads.
Yeah. So for those who don't know what Weird Science is about, I'm pretty sure everyone's seen it. But if you haven't, it's John Hughes movie, right? And you have two horny kids that are 15 years old, just like we all were, right? And they want to know about women. So what they do is they create their own woman through a computer, and they give her all this personality traits that they're looking for. They want her to be physically perfect, and they create what's her name? The hot woman. God damn it, I forget her name.
Oh shit, now I'm blanking.
What's her name? Katie LeBron.
Yes.
Kelly LeBrock.
Kelly LeBrock. Your wire's fizzy again, Cody. So they create her, and they immediately take a shower with her. And I didn't know this, but she's got like the powers of Q on Star Trek, where she can materialize anything and change whatever you've got. She gives him a Porsche and a Ferrari, and then proceeds to make out with one of them. And really, for a movie kiss, that was a legit kiss, and grabs him by the buttocks. And I'm like, okay, this is a 25-year-old Kelly LeBron. And this is like a 16-year-old male actor. So again, I felt uncomfortable the entire time, dude. And for what it's worth, I think I laughed a couple of times. I know if you grew up with it, it perfectly makes sense. I totally freaked out when they turned Bill Paxton into a pile of shit. I didn't see that coming. But I was like, okay, this isn't for me. I missed the window of opportunity for this to be funny. So Weird Science, I don't think has aged well. That may be another film I do that, the Hindsight series. But I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. It just didn't. If you grew up with it, then I'm sure it did. But for me, it just, as a parent who owns a house and all that shit, am I a bitter old bastard now?
So every comedy in the 80s is now terrible. This little motherfucker stealing his friend's car and shit.
Mm-hmm. And and there's like a nuclear warhead in the room. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But anyway, I just didn't find it as hilarious.
They created a girl with a computer.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to
be a
documentary.
I know you're not supposed to put any logic in it whatsoever. I know that. But I will credit this. It gave us our first hacking sequence. I don't think any other movie gave us a hacking sequence like this one did. Huh?
Didn't War Games do something similar?
Well, he did through like the phone line, and he had this, I guess you're right. If we're talking timeline, I guess War Games was the first hacking sequence, but this one had like, how do you visualize a hacking sequence in a movie? And I think this one was the first attempt at doing that.
I just find the movie to be very funny because she literally forces them to mature and to kind of have their balls drop without really doing anything with them
by pointing a gun at strangers in their house.
Yeah.
that's
pointing a gun on the parents and letting them go to a party.
I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Well, you got that, and you got the guy who gets killed in Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and Robert Downey Jr., who are the bullies that try to like get cool with them so they can make them a girl. That whole sequence is fucking funny where they're chill and they're freaking out like, oh, I'm shooting my pants. Like, I don't know. All these movies I think require maybe a certain amount of nostalgia, but I find that to be one of the racier
that's
John
incredibly
Hughes movies,
racy.
And so I've always been a big fan of this one.
Especially that one young actor, like supposedly he was supposed to, I guess they hint at the idea that him and Kelly LeBrock slept together that first night, and he's making breakfast and his brother walks in, Bill Paxton, by the way, and he's got panties on, and you have a young 16-year-old boy with panties on. I'm like, what the fuck is this going on? This was the 80s. I get it. No rules. But again, seeing it as almost a 50-year-old bastard for the first time, it was just like, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at all.
It's a you problem.
It's all me. It's all me. Yeah, I missed the window. But anyway, that's Weird Science and all that stuff. Let's see what comments you have here. I thought I missed something here.
Jason Carpenter, I would have loved to have included Dirty Work. That's a classic for me.
Isn't that with Norm Macdonald?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that's a good one.
It is. You never seen it?
I've never seen Dirty Work. Wow. I love Norm Macdonald. I love him to death, dude. But I've never seen the film.
That's the best Norm Macdonald for sure.
Okay. Oh, I missed some super chats real quick. 1 second. Okay. Tony Movie Chappie D9 Neil Blomkamp.
Tony
fan?
Chappie. Tony Chappie is what we call him.
Thank you for the super chat here. I don't care what anyone says about the 90s to mid 2000s. That was a golden age and top Adam Sandler. Yes, that's the era where the only good Adam Sandler movies existed.
I think everybody says that, Tony. I don't think that's a very hot take.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for the super chat. But again, Adam Sandler, like post, I think it was Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, and then The Water Boy. And then after that, it never really caught anything, in my opinion.
Huh.
I mean, what's another one?
I mean, Wedding Singer is my
Daddy?
favorite movie.
Oh,
with his
yeah,
Big
my bad.
Daddy.
Yeah, that's another good one.
I'll tell you a really underrated movie that nobody talks about that I think is fucking hilarious with him is Bulletproof. With him and Damon Wayans.
I've never heard of it.
It's like his only rated R comedy for that era, where he's kind of a scumbag criminal and Damon Wayans is an undercover cop pretending to be his friend, and he busts him.
Yeah.
But then he gets shot. Damon Wayans gets shot during the bust and thinks that it's Adam Sandler that shot him, but it wasn't. And so then he takes the case to escort Adam Sandler. James Caan is the big drug lord that's trying to kill Adam Sandler. He's trying to escort Adam Sandler to safety because he's the only witness with all the information. And so they basically fucking hate each other, but they also have this weird friendship, and it's absolutely hilarious. Like it's the dirtiest Adam Sandler of the 90s. So to paint the picture, to sell it, one of the opening scenes where Damon Wayans is a badass and Adam Sandler's a giant pussy in the movie. And so he's like, man, you always get in a bunch of trouble. He's like, yeah, but because you're always there to help me, man. You're always there to protect me. And so he's in a bar and he sees this fine ass chick at the bar, and he walks up, and Damon Wayans like, hey man, she's got to have a man around here somewhere. Don't fuck around with her. He's like, it's all right, go ahead. So he goes up to her, starts flirting with her, and this big fucking biker comes up to him.
Yeah.
The fuck you doing? And he's like, I didn't know. And then he sees Damon Wayans coming around the corner, and he goes, I was hitting on her harder than you think, motherfucker. And it starts getting onto him because he knows Damon Wayans is going to kick his ass for him.
Yeah. Why didn't that make the list?
Dude, there's
that would have been a good one. I'd never seen
There's so many movies that I would have loved to have to include, but it's always hard when you only have 31 and we got 5 distinct tastes. And so we had to, I would love to do a sequel and we do more comedies, but we'll see.
We'll see. I feel a multiplicity debate coming. I saw this is another one I saw for the first time about a month ago, and I didn't find it funny at all. No, damn it. I love Michael Keaton. I love his physical comedy. I love anything he's ever done. Mr. Mom, Gun Ho, Clean and Sober, Batman, everything. I love it. But for this particular film, I just, the vehicle just didn't seem to work for me. I mean, it just, maybe it's the script, maybe it's the writing, but the clones novelty, I guess, kind of wore off on me for when the second one. And then there's one that's kind of like special. I guess we have to use that word.
It's a copy of a copy.
It's a copy of a copy. Yeah. And he's special. And again, seeing it as almost a 50-year-old guy, just as the one scene where they all pass the wife around at the end.
Fucking brilliant. What is wrong with you?
I thought she's not going to sleep with the slow one. Oh yes, my God. Absolutely. She's not with the slow one.
My peppy.
And there's one that's implied that he's gay.
No, it's his personality split. So you have, or the different aspects of him. So you have the one guy who's like the alpha male aggressive side of him, and then you have the other guy that's like the sensitive feminine side of him.
Okay.
And then the third one's more just physical gags. That's the copy of the copy thing. But that's what it is. It's him taking the whole spectrum of what is man, and one gets the one extreme and the other one gets the other extreme. And so that's why, I mean, as the movie goes on, you have like Andy McDowell, where she's like, one minute you're biting my head off, the other minute you're sweet as can be, obsessing about every little detail.
Yeah.
That's a fucking classick. So I would encourage you to watch that again when you're in a better mood.
I wasn't in a good mood. I was holding my son with my fiance next to me. She goes,
too many distractions.
Get this. She goes, what are we watching? I go, Multiplicity. She was like, why? And I'm like, it's on the list for comedy. She goes, who thinks it's funny?
We're influenced by your fiance.
She never influences a damn thing.
Bullshit. She put the seed in your head and it fucking grew over 90 minutes. Who thinks it's funny? Me, Erica.
Oh, I'll tell her that. But anyway, I think it would have been funnier if they had said that clone was gay versus him being sensitive. Because think about it, that's funny in my opinion.
Well, the reason they didn't do that, I actually, if you look at Michael Keaton's, he did the recent thing. Is it Bravo or is it fucking Vanity Fair? Somebody does these things where actors go through like their more iconic roles. And he was talking about Multiplicity, and he actually had a segment where he actually asked Harold Ramis that. He said, "Is this character gay?"
Yeah,
and Harold Ramis goes, I don't know. And he goes, well, like, just so I know what to play. Like, do you think he's gay? He goes, I don't know. And he goes, that was the right approach. I don't know, because it doesn't matter. It's just the feminine side of him.
Yeah.
So it was never about him being like gay. It was just like the am I happening again?
Yeah, it's happening again. CP, what did you think about multiplicity as Cody fixes the thing?
I'm gonna shut all my shit down, so I'll be gone for like 3 minutes.
All right. Go ahead.
We all have different levels of testosterone and estrogen. So that one just had a little bit of an imbalance. To look at it with 2024 eyes is, I don't know if it's doing the film a service. And it's hard.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to not watch something with your, especially if you haven't seen it yet, without some sort of current perspective. And I don't think gay would have been something. I mean, he speaks a little effeminately, and plays into a couple of stereotypes and or tropes. It's sensitive is what I would have said, but
yeah, it just, for me, like watching it, and I didn't know the direction of it, just like, are they implying this? They don't say it. They don't, because they have the date and all that, but I was thinking maybe they wanted to go that approach because it would have been like another avenue of maybe like for the comedy, but that's not the route they chose, and they were playing it safe, just like the other one, who's obviously special. Well, they don't say he is. He's just a clone of a clone of a clone. So I thought they were just trying to say that, but not, and imply it, but not say it. And I'm like, okay, if they went and said, I think it would have been a lot funnier and more honest.
Wait, you think if they did say it, it'd make
it more
funny?
I think they did. I think that would have just added in a whole other area of just for just jokes and just situations. I don't know. Again, I didn't think it was that funny. The only time
But if they said he was R-word, it would be more funny?
Well, I can see the character, Michael Keaton, right? The one clone. He's like such a go guy, right? I could just him reacting to himself becoming that. I think that would have just been an avenue for jokes. Not to make fun of them, but just like him reacting to like, that's me. He goes, yeah, these are all you. These are part of you. And like him reacting, that could never be me. Just that whole avenue. I was just thinking they were going to go that route watching it, and they didn't. I have a dark sense of humor, dude.
All right.
But the only part I laughed out loud on was a visual gag, and I love visual gags, is that he's a construction worker and he's building, well, not a construction worker, he's like a contractor. And he's working in a community, and the community is called Vista de Nada. And that cracked me up because in English, that's
view of nothing.
View of nothing. So I thought that was pretty hilarious. I'm like, okay, that's
that's what made you laugh.
I love visual gags, dude. I do. I mean, that's why I grew up on Airplane. I grew up on Top Secret. I think Top Secret is such an underrated comedy because there's so many gags. There's so many things in the background that are happening that are like smart, and like you have to put time and effort into it. That for me, it really worked for me.
Val Kilmer, right?
Yes, Val Kilmer. Yeah.
Who?
We're talking about visual gags and how in Multiplicity, the one gag that made me laugh was him being the contractor in that community, and the community's name was Vista de Nada. And I like, hey, that's pretty fucking funny. I laughed at that because it's right there as a hidden joke. And I like visual gags, and that goes to my love for Top Secret and Airplane. There's so many visual gags going on in the background that, it's a serious conversation, but there's something funny in the background. I like that type of comedy where you got to look for it. And that's just me.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Hopefully this fixes it. I don't know. I've only ever had this issue once before, and I never figured out what it was. It just stopped. So
okay. Yeah, we'll let you know if it goes on again, but we should be fine. Sean, thank you again for the super chat. It's awesome to see you guys back together. It's good to be back. I miss these guys a lot. I look forward to the 31 and 31. This will be the first at when I'm being able to formulate a list. Oh, really? Okay. My number one so far is Step Brothers. Cool. Awesome. Real quick, I wanted to go into comedy. Like, I want to talk again. We're going to talk about comedy for maybe another 20 minutes, real quick. But Charles, again, you're the expert. You're the comedian. Like, what drew you into comedy? Like, what's your favorite type of style of comedy? What are you laughing about?
every time you give him credit, he's just like fucking.
Well, I admire anybody who's trained in a field. I respect him. I want.
He's
to know
a
more
modest son of a bitch.
Very modest. Like, what's your favorite style of comedy?
Well, I perform an observational style of humor.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that. I've seen one of your acts. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it depends. It really depends on what like I'm in the mood for, and I tend to be a little deep and dark. 13 popular types of comedy. Is it like that's different for film?
Uh-huh.
I don't think that there's that many types of stand-up.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, romantic comedy is I don't know how you'd pull that off on a stage. Self-depreciating humor, that's one of my big ones.
Yeah.
2 and 3, not 5.
Yeah.
Not 6,
Well,
maybe 7.
Well, and the reason I brought this up, and again, the reason I wanted to talk about comedy so everybody knows, again, because the chat had brought up a question like, what is funny? Like, again, what I think is funny, Cody doesn't like, or vice versa. What he thinks is hilarious, I think is okay. So I asked the question in the chat, like, so what is funny? And CP came back with a great rebuttal, you know, whatever makes you laugh. And I get that, and I totally get that comedy is subjective, just like horror. Horror movies are very subjective. So I wanted to learn about the comedies. In other words, I wanted to look at this before I watch any other films I've never seen, just so I can understand the style of it. And for those who don't know, we're going to talk about comedy real quick. So first is slapstick comedy. I've heard of that word. I didn't know what it meant until right now. Slapstick involves physical comedy, exaggerated facial expressions, stunts. This style of humor, it was popularized in the early 20th century by the comedians like Charlie Chaplin and the Three Stooges. That makes sense.
Yeah, that one's not very high on my list.
I love the Three Stooges though.
I never watched too much of it. About the closest to slapstick comedy that I love is Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. That's the one that I just grew up with that I always thought was really funny to this day. But in general, slapstick comedy has never really done much for me. That's kind of that's almost like an on-ramp for kids into adult humor. You know, that's Looney Tunes stuff, you know, bonking them with a hammer and sending them off a cliff and stuff. So
yeah.
As I've gotten older, I've kind of drifted away from that quite a bit.
But that would also include Jim Carrey, 90s Jim Carrey, right? Because he's definitely physical. I mean,
in The Mask for sure.
Oh yeah, in The
Mask.
yeah,
a little bit there. Yeah, I mean he certainly did it better than most in the 90s. So I can.
Oh, he was.
There's going to be exceptions to all of these, even if I don't like them. But just in general, slapstick, I'm like,
yeah. Dark comedy. This is me, known as dark black comedy. I didn't know that. A subgenre focused on the what's that word
incongruity.
Incongruity. Thank you so much. Of comedic elements and morbid subjects like war, death, and crime. This style of dark humor is seen in the works of writers such as Kurt Vonnegut and filmmakers like Coen Brothers. Yeah, I guess I can see that. That's the style I prefer. I mean, things that you're not supposed to laugh at.
Unless it's the cable guy.
Well, like I said, I laughed at a few scenes, like I mean, him buying his friend a prostitute.
I'm here for you.
Yeah, I was like, what? And the porno password. I mean, that's like awkward, you know, type of moments. But self-deprecating humor. That's obvious. That's obvious. There, stand-up comedians like Rodney Dangerfield use this. Yep, that was his whole stick. Romantic comedy, a genre of comedy combines themes of romantic love and humor. I guess
I have some favorites, but that's also not high on my list.
Yeah, the one that comes to mind is like When Harry Met Sally. That's one of the good ones I like.
My favorite one is Crazy Stupid Love. I think that movie.
That is a good one. I forgot about that. That's a good one. Yeah. Is that the one with is that the one with Adam Sandler?
No, that's the one you're thinking of. Punch Drunk Love.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Crazy Stupid Love is the one with Steve Carell where he divorces, and then he's kind of trying to get back out there, and Ryan Gosling takes him under his wing and turns him into a man whore. And, yeah.
That one, yeah. High comedy. I didn't know this. Highbrow form of comedy is exemplified in the works of Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest. Never seen it. Let's see. Situational comedy. I think this is my favorite of all the comedies because, again, if you ask me what makes me laugh, Curb Your Enthusiasm is the one show that cracks me up. Like I can watch it and I'm like tear crying. Again, situational comedy draws humor from the relationships and dynamics between the recurring cast members in constant setting. Some popular sitcoms like The Office. Yeah, I guess that made it popular in mainstream, and then Seinfeld, which hasn't aged with me. Seinfeld, I've seen a few episodes and I don't find them as funny as I did in the 90s.
I've never been able to get into it. I
Larry
tried. he's super respected. So again, much like with Anchorman, there's a lot of people that would disagree. I've never found Jerry Seinfeld to be funny.
Yeah.
Don't watch the Pop-Tart movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you're right. It is Larry David, but it's like Curb Enthusiasm is more rated R. I guess I don't know what the difference is. I don't know, but it
Larry David created and wrote for both of those.
Yeah, he did.
If you watch the Pop-Tart movie, you'll see a big difference between Curb and Seinfeld writing.
Situational comedy that works for me is like The King of Queens. That's by a landslide my favorite sitcom. And I watched those episodes. I've probably seen that entire series 4 times, and I still laugh my ass off. Like, we'll just randomly throw on a season for like a couple of months while we're eating dinner, watch 1 or 2 episodes. And I get giddy like a fucking 3-year-old girl when like an episode comes on. I'm like, oh, this is the one where he does this. And I just, even though I know the bits, they're so fucking funny to me.
Yeah. I guess the one who originated that, wouldn't that be Lucille Ball when I Love Lucy?
It's just pretty close to the beginning, if not the beginning.
Yeah. I'm thinking about that one scene with that conveyor belt with the chocolates. I'm thinking about that, and anyway, that I gotta look into that. And parody, okay, parodies spoof existing works through imitation and exaggeration. Examples of parody films include Young Frankenstein, which I love, and Scary Movie. I think these films are actually one of the same, as a matter of fact. I would say they're very comparable, and again, because Young Frankenstein. It's again Mel Brooks, 1974. They're spoofing the horror movies they grew up with. The Universal films were like 30 years old at the time, maybe 40 years old. Between them growing up and watching these films, and then them making this spoof, so they're spoofing what they grew up with. And again, Scary Movie is just spoofing what we grew up with, as far as like the 90s slasher movies with Scream. So there's a lot of similarities in this, totally different styles, but the similarity as far as what they're parodying is the same.
Your Billy Madison teaser is a parody.
Yeah. Parody's funny when I do it, but I don't really care. Parody's another one like slapstick, where it's few and far between. I really enjoy Scary Movie and Scary Movie 2. I also was the perfect age for them when they came out. So
yeah,
if I tried to watch them as somebody who was born 10 years later, they might not work for me. I have struggled highly to get into anything Mel Brooks has done. And I honestly don't know if the quality dipped that much after Scary Movie 2, or if it's just that I aged out very quickly. But like Scary Movie 3 through 5, I don't find funny. Any of the others, with the exception of Not Another Teen Movie, I thought that was genuinely pretty damn funny when it came out. It's kind of spoofing all the John Hughes movies, but again, I love John Hughes, so I get every joke. But we had This Is Sparta, or Spartans Meet the Spartans, or whatever it is, and Date Movie, and all the other ones that were just like every 3 months there was a new one when scary movies were big, and they all bombed. So I don't know if it's just that they were terrible or what, but Scary Movie 2, I genuinely can't think of not another teen movie. Those 3 are the only ones that I've ever really enjoyed.
I think what made them like devalue as far as humor was Keenan Ivory Wayans and the Wayans brothers weren't involved in anything after part 2. And, they have a great comedic track record, going back to In Living Color. So I think once they separated, it just became, let's just reference this instead of making a parody. And that's when it just became, just a cash grab, in my opinion.
My favorite parody scene of all time is the opening of Scary Movie 2, where they're spoofing The Exorcist. And you got James Woods as Father Marin, and he comes in and she goes, and he goes, fuck this. And he goes to leave. Like, that's the best joke in any parody movie to me, is that moment.
Did you ever see Repossessed with Leslie Nielsen?
No.
And Linda Blair? Yeah, you don't want to see it.
I've seen pieces of Dracula Dead and loving it. I tried watching Airplane months ago. I think it was when you were talking it up or somebody, and I was like, fine, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
And aside from the only time that I laughed at it, I need to rewatch it for this 31, obviously, so I'll finish it finally. But when I watched it the first time, I got maybe half an hour through it, left, did something else. But the only scene that genuinely got me was when, I don't know what the fuck they were talking about, but they close in on a guy's face when he's just talking about a bunch of shit, and then it comes out and the person he was talking to hung themselves. That made me laugh because it just came out of nowhere. But again, dark humor too. So
yeah, I love that, dude. I love that. It gets worse as the plane gets, the events happen. It gets worse. as you know, now that I think about it, the 90s had a lot of Leslie Nielsen comedies, a lot of parodies outside of Naked Gun
and all that.
Yeah, there's Spy Hard, and I think there's Hot Shots Part 1 and 2. I mean, that was really the style of comedy, I guess, what they were looking for to sell.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Hot Shots movies 1 and 2. Those are hilarious in my opinion.
Never seen them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, parody. I've disliked the ones that I've seen so much that I don't really have the interest to check out the other ones, which is a shame because there might be some that I like, but I don't know. You get burned enough times and you're just like, I'm good.
Do you speak jive? I'm a raised no dummy. I dug a rap. I know that movie by heart, by the way. I have a shirt that I'm going to wear for the 31 on 31 says I speak jive. So I got everything ready. I'm going to be recording starting on Friday, by the way. So
okay,
looking forward to that. Tragic comedy. Tragic comedies combine comedic elements with serious subjects to explore different aspects of human experience. I guess that would be like Funny People. Which I haven't seen. That's another one I haven't seen yet. But I heard there was like cancer.
Yeah,
it's a cancer story, so maybe that's a tragic comedy. I don't know. Farce centers around exaggerated characters dealing with improbable situations caused by miscommunication or mistaken identity. Home Alone and then Hangover. Oh, okay.
Those are good ones.
Yeah. Wordplay comedy performers use this style of comedy to entertain audiences by using witty wordplay. Examples of wordplay include puns. Okay. That wouldn't be George Carlin. No, that wouldn't be George Carlin.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I was thinking that's the first thing I thought of, but he was amazing. He was a great. Would you consider George Carlin CP a comedian or a great speaker?
Yes.
Yes to both. Yeah. Okay. Because again, as far as delivering a joke, it's not like in your traditional style, but he's a great in like pointing out the obvious. Is that the right way I'm phrasing it?
His style is similar for me as how like Chappelle has evolved to become.
Yeah.
Where he just he's almost like a public speaker, but you get some good jokes in there. It's like it's intertwined.
Yeah. So not your typical comedian style comedian where you have like punchlines laced every 3 to 5 sentences. These guys, they don't need to do old comedian tricks. They'll do like a 20-minute just diatribe on something and lace a funny line here and there and end with this. Sometimes it's not even a strong laugh so much as it's just, wow, how did they craft that story like that? It's really good comedians are able to do it.
Yeah. He was one of the best. I love him. He was my favorites. Deadpan comedy, the style of dark comedy, invokes laughter through the intentional lack of emotion while talking about absurd topics. I can't point that to anything. I know what they're saying, but I just can't think of a comedy that speaks to that. And then observational comedy performers use observational comedy to draw attention to the unnoticed humor within everyday life.
Yeah, that one's pretty high up for me.
Yeah. Like for me, I guess it's a situational piece. I do like that, putting people in awkward situations. That cracks me up. It's very rare that a joke will make me laugh. Although I don't know if you guys have seen the roast with Tom Brady's roast or the clips of what they were talking about. I think that was hilarious. That was really funny.
I've seen a couple clips of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing yet, though.
Yeah.
I watched the wrong Netflix comedy this weekend.
What'd you see?
Unfrosted or whatever.
Unfrosted.
Oh, that's the what is that? The
Jerry Seinfeld Pop-Tart movie.
Okay. Yeah, he's been really vocal about how he says the extreme left has destroyed comedy. There's an article that came out a couple days ago about that.
You wouldn't know it watching this movie. I would say Jerry Seinfeld ruined comedy. So painful.
That bad, huh? Okay.
It's just not. It just happens. There's nothing to it. Or it's like, oh, really? Cool. 60-year-old jokes. Awesome.
And then rounding out the comedic performances, like in stand-up comedy, stand-up comics tell anecdotes, jokes and punchlines to surprise their audience. That's the giveaway. Sketch comedy, like Saturday Night Live, and then improvisational. That one, I love improvisational comedy. Makes me think of that scene in Ted 2. Where it's like they want to make themselves feel better. They just go down to the improv and yell out
9/11.
He's like 9/11. He's like, oh, okay. I think I heard the library. Nobody said library.
That and my
actor Robin Williams on 9/11. We're giving you the tools, buddy. Fucking make some comedy.
That, in my opinion, will probably be the hardest because you got to think of it like on the spot. I don't know if you have like a package already built and you can put that package with any topic or subject or place, but to come up with jokes on the spot, I couldn't do. I couldn't do that at all. Hold on a second.
You do it enough, you can make it look like it's spontaneous when it's not.
Are you any good at it? I mean, is that part? No. Yeah.
I don't want the crowd like, listen, I'm your comedy prostitute. I'll do what I do. I want you to laugh. Trust me, I do, but don't help.
Another super chat again. You said Tony Movie Chappie. Is that what you call him?
Tony Chappie is what we
Tony Chappie. Again, thank you for the super chat. David Zucker, who made Airplane and Top Secret Naked Gun trilogy, Basketball, directed both Scary Movie 3 and 4. No, he did. He really? I didn't know that. And Hot Take, Scary Movie 3 is my favorite of 4, but I love me a good spoof movie. I didn't know that he did the other 3. So, man, what a horrible spiral into.
The only joke I remember making me laugh in Scary Movie 3 was when they have the aliens and he keeps like, he's putting his finger all over Charlie Sheen's face and doing this. And then they're like, yeah, you think that's weird? You should see how we pee. And then he pees out his finger. He's like, oh! He's like, his tick in his mouth.
Maybe I need to revisit them again because I saw them once in the early 2000s and it's been that long. So I need to check that out again and all.
Yeah.
But real quick, I guess I don't want to, what are your favorite comedies? Like let's start with you, Charles. What are your top 2 comedies? If they're on the 31 and 31 list, don't answer, but what are your 2 favorite comedies?
One of them is Clue.
Oh, that's a great one. That's a great one. And I think we talked about that before. Madeline Kahn. I love her, man. I love her to death. She's so great, especially in Young Frankenstein.
Clue's a fun one. I like introducing that to people because it's kind of slept on. Like it seems like everybody knows it, and then at the same time, it seems like nobody knows it.
Yeah. I hear they had like a marketing bomb because now we see it and they have the 3 endings of the movie all on one sitting, right? But I heard when they released it, like East Coast, Central, and West Coast all had a different ending. So everybody left the theater with a different experience and everyone started complaining about that.
It wasn't the coasts. Different theaters got different prints.
Oh, it was just the theaters.
The 4th reel is different on all the different theaters. So you could be a town over and have a different ending.
That's insane. I gotta hand them that takes balls to do that. I mean, that's pretty inventive.
Be fun. Like if somebody did, if it was a good movie, if somebody tried to do that again today, imagine how cool that would be to boost theaters. Everybody trying to find out what theater has what cut. And
they did do that with that that horror movie, that found footage thing where there were 2
Activity.
Endings. Is it that?
I know that one had multiple endings, but I don't know if they marketed it that way. But I mean, like to market.
Oh yeah, they didn't market it. It was just people had different endings.
Yeah. Last time I remember somebody marketing that was when 28 Days Later hit out of nowhere, and then they re-released the movie with a different ending. And I remember the commercials all saying with a secret alternate ending, and I don't know if it paid off for him. But
really, I don't remember that.
I remember that distinctly. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Again, thanks for the chat for reminding me. I missed the super chat. Again, Daniel, thank you so much. In Long Beach, California, where I live, the location of Ferris Bueller's house is 10 minutes from my parents' home, not in Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, again, I love that movie. I actually love it more than Weird Science. I can quote it more. I love the message of the film, live for today, don't get caught up in routine and, before time flies by. So I love the message, but again, seeing it again, I did that video, again, seeing it with an adult set of eyes. It just, Ferris is like pretty much a dick the entire time. So I don't think fondly of him anymore, but it is a great movie. I love it. I wouldn't want my son having a friend like that. And he pushing you around. What? Convince you to take my car? What? Hell no. No way.
I'm gonna hit you so fucking hard, he's gonna feel it.
Yeah, so Clue is yours. Cody, if yours is not on the 31 list, which one of your favorites?
My favorite comedy of all time is Midnight Run with Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin.
Yeah.
That's a movie that
it
took me a few watches to really get it. I had a friend of mine in grade school that always talked about it, and I was like, yeah, my dad likes that movie, and I never really watched it. And then I watched it when I was a teenager, and I was like, that was pretty funny. And the more I watched it, the more that I loved it. And it's just one of those movies where it's specifically just the back and forth dynamic between De Niro and Charles Grodin, because Charles Grodin just has that very unique kind of deadpan style to him, and De Niro was so aggressively pissed off most of that movie, and it's just so fucking great. Like the gag where he's, for those that haven't seen the movie, Robert De Niro is a bounty hunter, and his big last score is to take Charles Grodin, who's a guy that supposedly embezzled all this money from a gangster, and try to get him back to LA by a certain day. And so the first thing that he does is takes him to an airport. He's like, I can't fly. And then he like freaks out on the plane. And so they keep having to go, similar to planes, trains, and automobiles. They keep having to use different modes of transportation. And then 2/3 of the way through the film, they stop at a little Mexican place, a little Mexican gas station, and he hears a plane going, and he looks over, and Charles Grodin's getting ready to take off. He's a fucking pilot. He's like, you son of a bitch! He's chasing after him, like stuff like that, man. Like just hearing it now, it makes me laugh, makes me want to watch the movie. But that's my number one of all time. Yeah. Close, well, my close second is in the list. Okay, but a little small distant third is The Ref, which is a movie like
with Dennis Leary, right?
Correct. It's a movie like Clue, where I find it to be highly underseen, where he's a thief, he's a cat burglar, and he's stuck in this town. They're doing house-to-house searches, and they got the town kind of walled off or whatever with cops, and he takes Kevin Spacey and his wife hostage, and they're in the middle of a really bad marriage. And so they're just bickering the whole movie and driving him nuts. And that's another one that's just fucking hilarious.
I need to see that one. I need to see that
yeah.
one.
It's
I love Dennis Leary. I love Dennis Leary.
Yeah. It's his best comedy, in my opinion, by far.
Okay. Like, I can't name one of them, but Top Secret, I recently discovered it like maybe 6 years ago, and I've heard about it, but I saw it again. And it's like one of those movies that there's so many gags within it. If you don't catch it, you'll catch it again the second time. And I was like tear crying, like laughing so hard in some of these scenes. And the other for me is, this isn't like a planned segue, but The Three Amigos. That one is a really good one. Seeing, Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short all together. I mean, they're just great together. And some of the jokes I just barely got as an adult, like the mail plane. Did y'all seen, the scene I'm talking about?
I haven't seen it in probably 20 something years. They used to play it on Disney Channel like late at night for a little sneeze there.
The Disney Channel?
Yeah. And I remember distinctly one scene made me laugh, and it's the only scene that I remember. It's where they're trying to like summon the invisible knight, and they fire the gun, and then he fires it forward, and he's like, you killed the invisible knight.
There's a scene where they leave the bar and the plane's flying in the air, and they go, oh, look at that. And Martin Short, I think that's a mail plane. And they go, a mail plane? Really? How can you tell? He goes, can't you see its little balls? Get it? It cracked me up as an adult because I barely got it. I saw it as a kid. Yeah. I didn't get it. But as an adult, like, oh, I finally get it. So it was a good joke, CP. I see your face. All right, anyway. So the next question, thoughts on the new 52 suit on Superman. Let me just do that real quick. Where's 52? That? That's my thought. So I'm going to give my final thoughts on this, but I want you two to go first. Like, what do you guys think about the new suit? You go first.
I mean, it looks fine, but I'm not passionate enough of a Superman fan to really be that opinionated. I wasn't a fan of Superman until Man of Steel. I still have not seen any of the Christopher Reeve movies. I mean, it's just,
that's right.
Yeah, Superman as a character, as a kid, I never really liked him. He just kind of seemed like a utility belt. Like he had a power for fucking everything. He had heat vision and x-ray vision and could fly and Man of Steel. And so I just never really got into that. I got into the more tragic characters like Batman and Wolverine and Spider-Man. So it was until Man of Steel where I was like, holy shit, I like this Superman. Like he's kind of like, he's vulnerable. I like this. Like it works. And so, yeah, I mean, like it looks like Superman. I don't really, the crazy things that I've seen on Twitter for the last 2 days about how horrible it is and all the different things they got wrong and how insulting. I'm just like, what are you seeing? Like, what are we really that passionate about fucking the shade of red in the underwear and stuff? And it's just, I mean, I've heard some people say it's a little over designed, maybe, but it's the simplest fucking superhero suit ever. So if you don't over design it, it looks plain. Yeah. I mean, the suit that Brandon Routh had looks like Spirit Halloween. It's so plain. So it looks like a variation of the suit that we got from Man of Steel, but a little more classic. So the only thing about Superman that I think looks stupid is the hair curl. I know that's part of him. I get it. I know that's part of him, but it looks goofy in live action to me. Like your hair, just you always have that one fucking curl that just sits there. Like as somebody that would drive me fucking nuts, I'm just like, get some hair gel. What the hell's wrong? But
back when I had hair, I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, that's the only classic piece of Superman that I think looks silly. Like red trunks, whatever. I don't really care. You know, the neck piece. I heard some people bitching saying the neck piece is too high, and some people were saying that it makes them look feminine putting on shoes, and it's just like it feels like a lot of people that just really want to hate it because it's not Zack Snyder and it's not Henry Cavill. So anything's going to be wrong with it. It could be brilliant and it sucks.
CP?
Who is this now?
That is the Man of Steel. That is Superman.
Who's
David
the actor?
Corn Sweat.
He was in Pearl. He was a projectionist. He had that one scene.
Oh,
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now I'm more interested.
Hey there. And he was also in a show called Hollywood, I think, which was like a different take on the classic Hollywood casting. So I knew him from that series, but then I remember seeing him in Pearl. Like, hey, I remember him. So that's the only two movies I know of him. But
what's funny is the casting in regards to the three core characters of the Superman movie. Superman is the one that interests me the least. Like I look at the casting for Lois Lane, and I'm like, oh my god, that woman's gorgeous. And then you have fuck, now I'm blanking on his name after I just talked him up. Who's playing Lex? Save me.
Oh god damn. What's his name? Hold on.
He's from the fucking X-Men movies, and he's in
the good-looking dude. Yeah.
He's a really good actor. I like him a lot, but I'm blanking.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
I built him up, and then my brain went. So I like him a lot, and seeing his take on Lex Luthor really interests me. And I listened to his Nicholas Holt. Thank you, chat.
Thank you.
I listened to his podcast with Michael Rosenbaum, who is Lex Luthor himself, and that was a really good podcast episode.
Yeah, that was. But any thoughts on the suit, TP? Anything that stands out?
It's a suit.
It's a suit? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If this is the best thing about the movie, I really have no interest in seeing the movie.
Really? Not at all? That looks...
It's a suit.
I think what people need to...
People were asking what we think.
Yeah, it's fun sometimes to get a first look and you get people talking, but I think what a lot of people need to keep in mind is that you can never judge a still image the way you can judge it in motion. Yeah. How many times have we seen something that looks weird in a picture and then you see it in motion? Or even worse, a behind the scenes picture, like a paparazzi picture. Like I remember everybody was flipping out about Robert Pattinson's suit whenever they had the behind the scenes little motorcycle scene that was leaking. They're like, it looks fucking terrible. And that Batman suit is kick ass.
Yeah.
So it's hard to judge a still image. But for me, as I wouldn't even say a casual Superman fan, it looks fine. Like I don't get the excitement or the extreme excitement. I don't get the extreme criticism.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, I get excited.
Double for me.
Yes.
Double for you.
I get an excited, like, yes, Superman's coming back. Especially for those that didn't like the Cavill version. They were waiting for their Superman. Supposedly this is going to be more in line with that. I don't think it's much of a secret that that James Gunn didn't really care for Snyder's version. He's never like outright said it, but the fact that he so adamantly was like, nope, sorry, Henry, like we're doing something different, like that tells me everything I need to hear. And I hope that this is a version that I like because I really loved Man of Steel. So I hope it's not going to be too hokey for me.
Yeah. As far as, again, as a resident Superman fan, again, I have like the whole sleeve of Superman tattoos on me. And again, Christopher Reeve was my hero growing up. When I first saw the suit, I was underwhelmed. I was like, okay, I love the S because it's the Kingdom Come S. And the collar, yeah. The collar
that's what you said. Like, I love the ass. Great ass, Henry.
It's great ass, yeah. I love the ass anyway. And the collar is from the new 52 suit that came out, I think, about 10, 15 years ago. And again, I like the texture and all that. But I was underwhelmed because this is the first suit. I remember looking at it and go, this is the first like non-skin tight suit we've seen anybody in a Superman suit wear. It's always been form-fitting. This one, you can see it like kind of folding up on the shoulders here, which is fine. And the texture looks it's like a denim or something like that. It just looks like something like from a costume that you can make or cosplay in. But I know on film, it's going to look better. I was hoping for the hero pose because, remember when Brandon Routh was announced as Superman, his first image was, the classic Superman pose where you can see everything. I was hoping to see that. And but the more I look at it, I'm okay with it. I'm not in love with it or blown away with it, but I'm excited that it's different from the design, the S. And what distracted me more was this back here. like what's going on in the background. Obviously, I mean, not obviously, I don't know for certain, but the purple would imply that it's Brainiac. And I didn't see this on my phone until I saw it on my desktop. But here, there's somebody hiding behind this little pillar, and you have a green light coming in, kind of hitting this. So that's probably a Green Lantern fighting this. So there's going to be more heroes in that scene. So I did catch that earlier on. And again, there's a Daily Planet. There's Lex Towers right there.
Well, they already announced that Guy Gardner is going to be in it and all this other stuff. So it's already going to be a lived-in universe. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm not in love with it. But I'm
excited. And Lex Luthor, I'm pretty sure James Gunn said Lex Luthor's the main villain. So Brainiac might just be some side shit going on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's so many heroes in this movie. I don't know how he's going to do it. I mean, he did it with the Suicide Squad, but I don't know how he's going to do it with this. So I'm concerned, but I'm also excited because, again, I don't think he's ever made a superhero movie that I didn't like or love. All the Guardians movies were great.
Yeah, I have faith in James Gunn. I think he's the right guy to do it.
Yeah, I agree. You were saying something, CP? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It looks like the cover of a smutty romance novel. Like if you were to just pan over to the bed and there's just some woman under the sheets.
He's like, getting ready to pull out in his one night stand. Like, yeah, all right, baby.
I gotta go back.
Gotta go save the world.
Like, where are you going?
Yeah, hair all disheveled, just like what?
Superman was always too powerful. I could never relate to him. He was always flawless until Man of Steel.
That's why I can relate to him.
Yeah. There you go.
The funniest shit he said all night.
I concur. Ryan, thank you for the super chat. Batman only, Cody. I wish we get Telltale season 3. I don't know what that is.
Too. Telltale
video game, right?
Video game producer. They did The Walking Dead, a couple others.
Oh, my daughter played those.
Yeah. The Walking Dead ones were really good, but the Batman ones were fucking awesome, and they only did 2 of them, and they were dark. It was like rated R Batman.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, it was cool. So yeah, I'm with you.
Well, and those are my thoughts for the new suit. I'm excited. Again, I have complete trust in James Gunn. The Suicide Squad is heavily underrated, and I'm excited what he does here. And the casting's perfect. The Lois, Superman, Lex Luthor, everybody. It's looking great, man. So I'm definitely excited for that.
Troy's saying you missed a couple super chats back there.
Did I?
Skim over it. Go to the Starred.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Batman only. I got that. Thank you, Ryan. Shout out to Ryan. Josh, sorry. I already got that. Troy, thank you so much for the super chat. 2 not on the list, Harlem Nights and Dr. Strangelove. Harlem Nights is a classic. I have not seen Dr. Strangelove.
Harlem Nights is the one with Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've only seen that once. I don't remember.
Oh, that's
I don't remember thinking too much of that one.
Yeah, and Dr. Strangelove, that's a Stanley Kubrick movie.
Never seen it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things
comedy,
about it.
I'm shocked Brian didn't campaign for that one.
Probably did. Stop
lost
paying
in
attention.
the mix.
And Michael, thank you so much for the super chat. It says, "Why no Monty Python and the Holy Grail?"
No.
That was brought up. That was brought up, but you can blame me for that one because, like, I really compromised letting all the Edgar Wright and Airplane and Mel Brooks in there, and then I think Sean brought up Monty Python. I was like, enough. It's enough. Like, we're already like suffering, not getting more Eddie Murphy and fucking Jim Carrey in here. Like, enough.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can blame me for that one. This isn't a super chat, but Jason Carpenter says House Guest with Sinbad and Phil Hartman. That's a really underrated comedy too. I love that one.
Okay. One thing when I was doing research for after I saw Cable Guy, I was just looking for video essays, anything I can find on social media. Apparently the writer for the Cable Guy was also the writer for What About Bob? And I didn't know that. Just having somebody kind of intruding your life.
I could see that. Similar.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny
that
movie.
Makes sense. Yeah. I like What About Bob? That's a great one. That's a really good one.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm a schizophrenic, and so am I.
Okay, I got a couple more topics here, and then we have I guess a surprise topic at the end that I share with the guys, and looking forward to hearing what they say about that. But real quick, as of 2024, I know we're headed into May. We're in May, actually. What are your favorite films of 2024 so far? Or your favorite film of 2024 so far? CP.
Oh, it might be Civil War.
Really? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Civil War.
Civil War. I heard it was mixed. Cody, you didn't like it, right? Or you thought it was like you needed more or something? I saw your thumbnail or
Oh,
something.
I give it 4 out of 5. I wasn't blown away by it, but yeah, it's difficult because what I appreciate about the movie, at least for me, I've seen some people argue differently. How I experienced the film was that it was very apolitical. It just shows you an alternate future. It shows you all the different sides to it, and it kind of just presents this future. It doesn't go the worrying route of like, this is what would happen if, Trump wins in November or something like that, or it doesn't take a hard stance one way or the other, because then people would lose their shit whatever stance they took.
Yeah.
But because they don't take a stance, there's a lot of lack of context to how the conflict got started, like how Texas and California have teamed up, what exactly is, the goals of certain places, and how they, like, there was just so many other details that I wanted selfishly that they couldn't give, because, if they told you how the conflict started, that would be taken aside, because people would be like, oh, see, that's the right wing or that's the left wing. Like, and so it's complicated. That And I didn't get into this in my review because it was hard to talk about it without spoilers, but it's been out long enough. The younger rookie character is kind of the classic trope that I hate, which is green rookie who doesn't listen to anybody and gets everybody killed. And so, like, all throughout the movie, they're dragging her along, and everything that she fucking does is like, don't do that. This is stupid. And then every single time she goes against what they say, somebody dies, all the way to the end of the film. And so I hate characters like that, especially when they're the focal point of what's going on. It's just like, fuck this person. Like, just leave them. I have no sympathy for them.
Yeah. That's the one movie I haven't seen yet, but I've been wanting to. That was on my must-see list, but again, with the baby and the schedules and all that, I haven't had time to see it. But it's anything more or less, anything A24 produces or makes, I'm going to go. I mean, I know there's some misses within their catalog, but most of the time I'm going to be there. I mean, I know that you're going to take chances. And this one is a very, considering the climate here in the US sometimes when it comes to politics and all that, I mean, it's scary that this film hopefully doesn't predict the future, but it's a sensitive topic is what I'm saying.
Yeah. There was one super chat that we missed from Lucas Griffin. Have any of you seen Lords of Chaos? It's about mayhem.
Yeah, I saw that. Have any of y'all seen it?
Yes.
Yes.
What are your thoughts? I don't know anything about it.
It's fucking brutal. It's brutal. It's a movie I'd never watch again.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's telling. I guess it's true. I haven't looked into it, but it's telling the true story of how the band Mayhem got together, and it's very graphic and violent. So, like, you literally have either the guitarist or the lead singer, I can't remember, of the band, lead singer of the band, the original lead singer, who kills himself by like cutting himself open and then putting a shotgun in his mouth, and it shows everything. And
like a comedy, the way they do that take too. It's just like, what? This is a weird shot.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Wow. So it's not for the faint of heart. It's pretty graphic, but I guess it's an interesting movie, but it's trigger warnings everywhere in that movie. I mean, they're burning churches, there's suicide, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's wild.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I've never seen it. Again, thank you for the super chat, Lucas. I've never seen it before. That's something you've piqued my interest. I mean, if it's that kind of disturbing, I want to check it out. It looks like it's handheld filmed. Is that what it is? Like a found footage?
No, it's not really found footage. You've got one of the Culkin brothers, is it Rory Culkin, who's kind of the main character, and he's like the bassist or something. And so it's just telling the story of this band that's just like, I guess it's all true, but it's just very dark, depressing, sick, depraved people.
Something that Brian and I would like.
Brian would never watch it. I think we told Brian specifically not to watch it because of all the church burning that's in it back when it was the big topic of discussion.
Yeah.
But it's rough.
Okay. All right, man. The peak. So again, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. So Cody, what was your favorite movie of 2024? Abigail. Really? Okay.
By quite a lot. This is just my type of film. I mean, if you know my favorite films, things like Lost Boys and Fright Night and everything like that, like it's the modern take on that type of vampire movie, just fun bloodbath. And so yeah, I went to go see it at its world premiere actually, so it was kind of exciting. First people to get to see it. I got to briefly interview Radio Silence. We had time to listen to answer one question because they showed up so late. I had like 3 of them prepared, but so that was really cool. And then luckily the movie ended up being great. It would have been awkward if it wasn't. But I loved the characters. It's a very funny movie, but it's also very intense, and the tension's always there, so it never goes too far. Alicia Weir, who plays Abigail, is phenomenal. I really like Melissa Barrera in it as well. You got Kevin Durand, who's fucking hilarious, playing this gigantic dumbass in the movie, and they find so many ways to pay that off, how stupid he is.
I thought he was in the Weird Science for a second. I had to look it up because there's a scene when the bikers come in the house and he gives this guy a beer. He goes, "This bud's for you." And I go, "Is that him?" It looks like him. And I don't know if it is or not. I got to keep looking it up. So I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's got nice little twists and turns throughout it. And I always like to see what things are going to do differently, if they do anything differently with the vampire lore, and they do a couple of interesting things with how bites work. I just thought it was a thoroughly entertaining movie. I enjoyed the living hell out of it. I loved it. And then I took my dad to go see it opening night when it actually opened wide.
Yeah.
And I kind of did it as an experiment because the movie was heavily marketed as, kind of giving away that she's a vampire, and, the name of the film, the poster, like it's not hidden whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that thinks that the movie operates perfectly fine knowing that. I mean, I knew good and well what movie it was, and I loved it. There's a lot of people out there that seem to think that it like destroyed the movie, like it was this big massive twist, and I'm like, it's not really a twist. It's just the setup of the movie. So to each their own. I just heavily disagreed with that, but for experiment's sake, my dad doesn't really watch trailers. He's not really into the whole movie news stuff the way that I am. So whenever I saw the movie, I texted him. I said, "There's a movie coming out next Thursday. Don't watch any trailers or whatever. I'm going to take you to go see it." And he only goes to the movie with me maybe 2-3 times a year tops.
Yeah.
So I took him to go see this, and he didn't know anything. Didn't know the plot, the setup, the vampire stuff, nothing. He figured out that the girl was the thing that was going to be revealed pretty quickly. So I don't think it's that well hidden if it is a twist, but he absolutely loved it. Walked out, was raving about it, said that it was one of the best movies he's seen in a long time. So it's just, it's a movie that I've seen twice now, and I've already bought the digital copy, and I'm going to watch it with my kids here. So it's rare that I like a movie that much where I'm excited to keep watching it.
Very cool. Very cool. I enjoyed it, but my favorite character, believe it or not, in the entire film was Dan Stevens.
Yeah, he's great too.
Yeah, he was my favorite because anybody, like, you're like a hacker, you're the bomb guy, you're the sniper. He just felt, I don't know his accent or what he's done in other movies, but in this particular role, like with his accent, the way he talked and the how he was dressed, you really believe that he was from New York and he was a detective. He had a lot of charisma and charm within that character, and it was believable. And
they're all really charming, and that's what's cool about the cast. Is like none of them are good people.
Yeah, like
on paper, you shouldn't root for any of them, but all of them you like them, and so the ones that do die, you're like, oh man, I like them. Like I want to see more. And so that's really good writing and really good casting.
Yeah. So again, he was my favorite, and I enjoyed it. My favorite so far of 2024 was a film I thought it was okay, but I think I keep thinking about it, is Late Night with the Devil. That one, what, dude? Okay, anyway, Late Night with the Devil was my favorite. I enjoyed it because, again, just the perspective of it, the aesthetic of it, it just feels like a 70s type of show. And there's something about, like, again, that's why I love Silent Hill and psychological horrors. Like, it's usually the protagonist.
What about if a 25-year-old woman kissed a 16-year-old boy? If it took place in the 70s?
What?
I'm fucking with you. It's a weird science joke.
Oh, you're talking about, what is that going to do with the Late Night with the Devil?
Roll past it.
Okay. No, anyway, there's something about a protagonist that, for me, like, when he more or less is responsible for his own downfall. There's like Hellraiser Inferno. There's Session, what's the one, Session 9 that you told me about? Silent Hill 2. There's something that just something that says it's a tragedy in a sense.
Yeah.
And I just like that they have all the greatest intent, and maybe they're not the best person, but they have a great intent. This one, just to see the downfall of the character and how it ends, that he sells like more or less his soul for the success and what he's got to sacrifice, and just the aesthetic of it. I mean, it's very cheesy. I love that they had everybody in costume. It feels like a show. They built a set. I love the host. He was believable. That actor, I forget his name, but he's one of my favorite actors. He was great as Polka Dot Man. Thank you for pronouncing that. I could not pronounce that at all, dude. But he will always be Polka Dot Man to me. But I just love him, and I know he's going to have a great career.
The crazy cop in Dark Knight.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's the first time I recognized him. Yeah, like right. But there's something about this show that's incredibly haunting. I know there's some parts of the effects just totally give it away. But it just had me just thinking this entire time, and just finding the owl, he's part of this like group of men that goes to this community that we've all heard about, that conspiracy theory where they worship this owl god. His show is Night Owls. And then at the end, he's, that sequence where he's going through that surrealism. He's, dedicating his life and drinking wine from an owl. I'm like, oh, this is all kind of creepy. And it's done with the aesthetic of his show, like set design and props. And I'm like, that's his hell. And I just appreciate that kind of like that storytelling. It takes balls. This is never going to make a lot of money, but I appreciate that type of platform and storytelling. And it's my favorite. It's so far. I wish I wanted more. And there's probably, I'm gonna buy it. But again, I wanted more. But again, I still love it. So if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. I had to watch it twice before I reviewed it because I think I was tired the first time that I watched it, and I was like, why didn't I love that? Because everybody's been hyping the fuck out of this thing. And I liked how unique it was. I liked its approach, recorded episode with the never before seen like commercial break behind the scenes footage spliced in, and some of the like true crime story intro, kind of giving you an intro to his that episode, like why it took place. Like it was really creative. The movie lost me quite a bit with some of the effects. I didn't think it was scary at all to have like the lightning demon or whatever the hell was going on. I was just like, that's weird and stupid. So that lost me quite a bit. Although that girl was effectively creepy before there was any effect. Like just how every shot she's looking right in the camera, even if she's just off in the corner, like she's always locked eyes with it. And I don't know, something about the third act, the way that it all wraps up, it makes sense. It made much more sense when I rewatched it because they set everything up in the intro to be paid off later on. But for a first viewing experience, like they don't make the viewer latch on to that side of the story. Like all the intro setup is the most important information you get in the movie, and it doesn't feel that way when you first watch it. You start really like paying attention when the show starts, and all that stuff's kind of inconsequential. It's just all the details, like you said, about the rumors that he's with this group of people and all that, like all that stuff is what comes back in the third act. So it's a little awkwardly structured for a first viewing experience that way, where I was like, where did that come from? That was weird. Like, what does that mean? Where does that tie in? And then I watched it a second time and I'm like, oh, all that shit that just seemed inconsequential the first 3 minutes is everything you're supposed to remember for the next 90 minutes.
To be completely honest, I started the movie once it came out on Shudder. I started it and it's slow. The first 30 minutes are incredibly slow, and I saw it at night and I was already tired, and I'm like, you know what, turn this off, I'll watch it tomorrow. And then I saw it the next day in one sitting, but my fiance wanted to see it again, so I saw it a second time, and it was that second viewing where I sat down from beginning to end. I'm like, oh, okay. I heard the story. I heard the details about his wife and what had going on. Because the narration at the beginning, which is done by Michael Ironside, I didn't know that until I saw his name in the credits. I'm like, who does he sound like? I didn't know. And then I found out
either. He's usually pretty damn distinct too.
Yeah. I guess he's getting on.
Sam Fisher.
Yeah. But it was a second viewing that I really appreciated it, and I'm like, you know what, I like this film, and I want more films like this. I mean, it feels very simple, like the budget. It's not a $200 million film. I don't know how much it costs budget wise, but it's really just the story and the theme and the tone of it. And I really appreciate that. And I want more films like that. Simple. Less is more, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm having second thoughts on that last topic. I don't want to do it anymore.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah. I think
what's your least favorite movie of the year so far? Mine?
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen enough. I don't know if I've seen enough of movies to say that. I can't think of one. I haven't gone to the movies.
I would assume.
I think I found that more entertaining because how bad it was.
Yeah,
that was just so like horrible. Like you know what? Just the the ADR, and just the story. So that's probably my worst one. But again, I enjoyed it because it was just like a fiasco, man. It was just really bad. Yours? Same thing, Madaweb?
I mean, that's if not my number 2, but I saw a movie last weekend called Tarot that right now is the movie that I'd like despise the most from this year. It's just after watching Night Swim and Imaginary and just it's a January horror film that I'm still fucking experiencing at the end of April, and it's just my mood. I'm like, I'm done. I'm just done with movies like this where it's just the same fucking setup. You get a couple of 4 or 5 dumb college kids that accidentally curse themselves, and then they die one by one. But it's PG-13, so they can't fucking show anything. And the only thing that's unique about it is like the tarot card is what curses them this time, instead of saying the bye-bye man or having the Ouija board or whatever the other. It's the same 85% the same script.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those fucking movies where, and it drives me nuts how people defend those movies, especially on Twitter, where they're like, well, these are meant for 13-year-olds. They're meant to be an onboard onto horror. I'm like, then they're not going to fucking experience anything else because the movie's so goddamn shitty. Why would you want to watch more? Like, what excuse is that? It's an onboard for people that don't know horror. It's still got to be a good fucking movie. Like when I was a kid, I didn't get onboarded by trash. I got onboarded by fucking Lost Boys and Child's Play and Nightmare on Elm Street. So
The Gate's a good onboarding movie.
Yeah, but it's just the fucking excuses that horror fans make for bad horror kills me. And that's a movie that you don't need to make any excuse for it. I don't give a fuck if it's a first-time filmmaker, which it was. I don't give a fuck if it was a small, independent little budget that it was. They still made a shitty movie that they knew was shitty, and they knew was just as shitty as the other 8 movies that have the same plot. And so that was one that I just 15 minutes into it, I was like, oh fuck, it's one of these. And I just it was so hard not to leave. Like, it's only 90 minutes long, but it felt like 4 hours because the whole time I'm just thinking like of anything I could be doing to put my time to better use than sitting here.
What's that Roger Ebert quote? No good movie is long enough and no bad movie is short enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like when you start looking at your watch, you're like, oh, like seriously,
dude,
man,
15 minutes in, like as soon as I knew it was that type of movie, I was like, oh fuck. Every kill is off screen and you just hear like a screech and there's like a little blood splatter, or they just show the person's face and they die, and it's just like, fuck you for selling this.
You know what? I do have an answer what my least favorite movie of the year is, but it came out last year and I finally saw it a couple weeks ago. Exorcist Believer.
Oh yeah.
That was so fucking disappointing, dude.
Oh yeah.
And my fiance, who loves the original, we both love the original. We love it. It's like one of our favorite movies. And that and part 3, I'm actually part 3 and 1. I haven't decided which I like more because I just recently discovered 3. And that, my God, that movie's fucking amazing. But anyway, we were expecting that type of caliber of just tone and just eeriness, and it never happened. It never happened. And just to bring back that original actress from the original Exorcist, just to gouge out her eyes, and just she's only in the film for like 5 minutes. It made no sense. And it just the approach in conducting the Exorcist made no sense to me as well. I mean, the original Exorcist, I mean, it's a great movie because they're using Linda Blair, a possessed young girl, as a catalyst to affect everybody else. The father, the mother who has no faith, she doesn't believe, she's not religious, and she goes through the scientific methods of trying to find out what's going on. And it's not until the very end where she puts her faith in these priests to save her daughter. So there's a great narrative on that. It's not just the Exorcist. Oh God, when I heard that, I go, did she say what I think she said?
Yeah.
I'm like, she wasn't a fucking priest.
I hate
That's why she couldn't go in there.
Movie. It's not the worst movie. Like objectively, it's not the worst.
It's not.
It was in my bottom 10 last year because everything about it just pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's literally the Blumhouse model at its absolute worst. And the writing was on the wall. I mean, that they just took who are the people that we had do the Halloween trilogy that was so beloved? Yeah, let's get all of them and just have them do all their shit to Exorcist.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you have Ellen Burstyn for months before the movie comes out saying, yeah, I didn't want anything to do with this, but they gave a bunch of money to a charity, so I decided to agree to it. It's like, what a ringing endorsement for your movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're already trying to play serious damage control and actually doing a pretty damn good job at it, because the rumors are they're circling Mike Flanagan to do it.
Yes.
That's probably the one name that would get me to go, okay, fine, we'll see what you got. But yeah, I hated that fucking movie.
even at
and
the end,
the whole like the religion Avengers or whatever the fuck was going on, where it's like. And what pisses me off about it is like, and I'm not really a religious person, so I'm not the type of person that would get offended about this, but it was so blatantly obvious that they just were so afraid to give the Catholic Church or Christianity like a win in the movie because they're traditionally the good guys in these types of movies. So they make the one Catholic priest a pussy who doesn't want to go in to help anybody, and all the other religions come in to help, and they're like, it's the love of
people,
the people of community that has vanquished the evil. Fuck you.
Yeah, and it's ultimately the daughter of the family who is Catholic is the. I don't want to give it away, but it's like it doesn't turn out well for her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. And then the reveal at the end, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a big reveal at the end. It felt so undeserved.
Yeah.
And like, what? Where's this
you
coming
knew
from?
It was going to happen. I said months before. I said when they announced this is the first of a trilogy, I said, oh, okay. So we know what the post-credit scene is going to be, or the last scene is going to be. Like, that's the only card they have to play.
Yeah. Yeah. Real quick, this is the last super chat, then I'll end the live real quick. Again, Gavin, thank you so much for the super chat. Favorite character from Planet of the Apes that isn't Caesar? Bright Eyes. Does that count from the originals? Planet of the Apes, Charlton Heston. Remember she called him Bright Eyes?
Yeah,
Bright Eyes.
I remember trying to think of what this character's name. I haven't seen the original in so long. Cornelius.
Yeah, there you go.
Roddy McDowell.
Yeah.
If we're talking about the original, if we're just talking about franchise in general, it'd probably be Koba. I thought Koba was a fascinating villain for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I fucking love that movie.
I love Dr. Seuss as a villain and as a bad guy, I guess, in the original. He was really good. Yeah, and I hope they kind of bring that full circle, like the way it ended, where the apes end up with the humans. I really hope. I'm curious where this new trilogy is going to go. Did you guys see the new one?
It doesn't come out until,
Is it definitely 3?
Oh, they haven't. I don't think they've announced that it's a trilogy, but I'm sure it will be.
They've all done well.
It doesn't release until Thursday, but I'm seeing it. There's an early fan screening tomorrow, so
you can check it out.
Back movie. Yeah. I'm going tomorrow.
Yeah, and it takes place like a few hundred years after Caesar, right? After the last one that ended.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, again, thank you for that. One more super chat. Okay, let's do this. Troy McClure. Let's see. Flanagan could make a good exorcist, but life is short. I hope he says no and moves on to better things. He is a great storyteller. I mean, he did Dr. Sleep. I think that's highly underrated, and that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. So again, everybody, thank you for joining live, guys. I appreciate this. You guys, what are you working on? You want to promote anything? Any new videos? CP, I'll start with you.
I literally just put up my quick review for Pop-Tart Unfrosted.
I gotta check that out.
No, you don't.
Well, not even your review. I mean,
sure.
You, Cody?
I don't know yet. I was actually getting ready to kind of mark up my calendar for the month earlier today, and then I got sidetracked. So I just looked at it and it's blank. So aside from the Planet of the Apes review that'll inevitably be on Thursday, I don't know. This is the time where I sit down and I kind of formulate some of my ideas. I'll at least do 1 or 2 more John Carpenter movies. So I think next we have Escape from LA. And after that is John Carpenter's Vampires, if I'm not mistaken. So you'll probably get those 2 this month. At some point, I'll do another movie brawl, but there's things involved with that I don't need to get into here. You kind of know what I'm talking about, Rudy. That's TBA. And then beyond that, I'm not sure.
Okay. I have to admit that that little hindsight series, I guess that's the official name of it. You know, looking at movies with an adult set of eyes, I'm really having a creative orgasm. In my head, because I love doing reviews. Reviews are fun, but just coming up with just a different type of just I guess series, or just like making different videos that are not reviews or tier videos, this is really excited me. I did the Ferris Bueller is an a-hole video. That one's doing well for me, numbers wise. It's doing great for me as far as retention and all that. And the Keanu Reeves is a horrible agent. That's doing really good as well. And again, I'm really happy that it's kind of giving me a new avenue to explore these films that I love and we all love. So I'm working on a new one, and I think I have an idea. I may go with this one. It's Walter Peck was actually a good guy. for Ghostbusters, and I'll explain why he was a good guy.
Dickless was right.
Yeah, he was right the entire time, and how Venkman was the asshole. But I'm working on this, and I think the reception, the comments, the likes, and everything has been really good. So I'm excited about that. So more to come on that. But again, Mr. Charles and Cody, bros, thank you so much, guys. I know you guys are busy, and again, sorry for keeping you up late, Charles. I appreciate that for you doing this, and I love you guys. Bye.
Love, 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 love.